the fluorescent hum of a modern oral surgery clinic. You sit in a contoured vinyl chair, tasting the faint metallic tang of antiseptic. On the light board hangs a panoramic X-ray of your skull. There, buried deep within the back of your jaw, sit your third molars. Wisdom teeth. They are twisted, impacted, and wedged hopelessly against bone. For millions of people, this structural chaos has become a routine rite of passage. To modern medicine, this is treated as an inevitability, a biological design flaw. We accept this as a natural tax on being human. We buy braces. We pay surgeons. We assume our DNA simply made an error. Your DNA didn't suddenly change. Your environment did. Your genetic code sets a basic blueprint, but your environment decides how that blueprint is built. This is not simply a genetic failure. It is an evolutionary mismatch. Walk backward through the layers of human history, past the factories, past the dawn of the first wheat fields. Pull a skull from an ancient burial site from 20,000 years ago. Examine the jawbone. The teeth are heavily worn, ground flat from a lifetime of chewing raw fiber, ash, and grit. Yet they are remarkably straight. Severe dental crowding in these ancient populations is strikingly uncommon. The wisdom teeth have erupted fully, standing upright with ample room to spare. This layout wasn't just luck, and it wasn't just a matter of naturally larger bones. The heavy friction of ancient chewing did something counterintuitive. As the teeth ground against each other over decades, they wore down on the sides, narrowing slightly. This natural wear actively unlocked extra space within the arch. It allowed the whole row of teeth to shift forward naturally, creating room for the final molars to emerge. Across thousands of prehistoric human remains, the crowded chaos of the modern mouth is missing. Our ancestors did not have orthodontists. They did not need them. The ancestral landscape provided an unrelenting workout. Every meal was an athletic event. We did not inherit smaller jaws through sudden mutations. We cultivated them through comfort. The biological machinery behind this change is a fundamental law of growth, Mechanotransduction. Living bone is not a static rock. It is a plastic, dynamic tissue that molds its shape to the forces placed upon it. Inside your jaw, specialized cells are constantly at work, some building bone up, others breaking it down. When you chew tough, resistant food, the sheer physical force bends and deforms the microscopic matrix of the jaw. This physical strain signals the bone-building cells to deposit hard minerals along those exact lines of pressure. Developing bone grows in response to repeated mechanical loading. No friction, no growth. In the late 20th century, anthropologist Robert Corricini tracked this reality in human populations undergoing rapid cultural transitions, notably among rural and urban youth in West Bengal. He compared communities eating traditional diets with urbanized groups eating soft, processed foods. Within a single generation, the children of families who moved to soft food showed a massive spike in crooked teeth and crowded jaws. The toughness of their food was the single best predictor of how straight their teeth grew. Corricini's work was one of the first natural experiments showing that dramatic increases in malocclusion could appear within a single generation, far too quickly to be explained by genetic evolution alone. To isolate this mechanism, evolutionary biologist Daniel Lieberman ran controlled experiments on rock hyraxes. These are small mammals whose facial geometry offered a closer analog to human jaw mechanics than typical rodent models. One group ate soft, cooked food. The other ate hard, raw food. The result was clear. Soft food diets alone were enough to produce significantly shorter and narrower mandibles in a mammalian model. Our factory settings assume a childhood of constant resistance. They expect a childhood of wild game, fibrous plants, and unrefined seeds. Instead, modern childhood is a progression of pured fruits, soft breads, and tender meats. The mechanical workout drops dramatically. The master biological software waits for the physical signals to expand the bone. But the signals never arrive. The jaw underdevelops. The heavy chewing muscles never fully develop. Diet isn't the only influence. Genetics, airway health, oral habits, and childhood development all shape the growing face. But diet remains one of the most powerful environmental factors we can actually observe across history. The modern shift away from prolonged breastfeeding to bottle feeding changes how an infant uses their facial muscles. Chronic mouth breathing, triggered by modern indoor allergens, further alters how the skull shapes itself over time. Even widespread micronutrient deficiencies, like a lack of vitamin D, combine with this lack of physical chewing to weaken bone development during critical growth windows. A narrower palate leaves less room for the tongue, which may alter resting tongue posture and interact with airway development. This structural collapse is frequently seen alongside childhood breathing issues during sleep, though the exact causal loop is still actively debated by clinicians. We are reshaping our own anatomy with convenience. Your crooked teeth are not a cosmetic curse. They are a biological memory. They are a physical, calcified monument to the artificial world you inhabit. Every time you look in the mirror and notice a slight overlap in your incisors, you are looking at a living record of your development. Your developing jaw simply responded to the lack of physical force in the environment where it formed. We traded the hard, uncompromising friction of the wild for a world that requires no effort to swallow. And our bodies responded by softening. We have outsourced the work of our teeth to industrial blenders, stainless steel pots, and commercial processing plants. We have engineered physical strain out of daily life, celebrating it as progress. But biology operates on a strict policy of conservation. What is not demanded is not built. We have surrounded ourselves with a cushioned reality that protects us from every form of ancestral discomfort, unaware that our structural symmetry is part of the cost. We have crafted a world where we no longer have to bite down. But as our faces narrow and questions grow about what that means for how we breathe, we must look at the pristine, expansive skulls of the past and wonder. If something as fundamental as the shape of our own faces can change within just a few hundred generations, what else is modern comfort quietly reshaping?